All right, Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles at Great Millstone, and salutes to your brothers teaching the word in sincerity and in truth. On the screen here, now I haven't done, I've done a couple, but this icon, is if you're in brothers that have been into the icons, going back, man, this is a famous icon. Brothers will know, apostles obviously know, man. That's how this icon goes back. So, um, now this icon here, because I had a series going a while back about icons. Well, I've just been doing odd videos here and there, but I wanted to talk about this because I wanted to go into some history here regarding this, and you can clearly see on one side it's a set of Jake's brown skinned Israelites, and then the other side it's a set of a set of brown skinned Israelites. Now I'm not sure who's fighting. You know, the book, and then brothers will probably post a book and then the source, because brothers, this goes back, like I said. This is the information, the icons. All you gotta do is go on YouTube. I don't know if it will still be on there, and you got videos of you know uh you know apostles, elders, high priest Ariah, apostles, and apostle Tar, and now going into these icons, man, and going into the books. And they got the references of what each one is. Now, when I seen this icon, it reminded me, because I was just going through, I was looking for the different icons that saved on my phone here that I've had, and it prompted a lesson. But what I want to talk about quickly is I'm going to bring out some scriptures. See, I accidentally didn't even mean to do that. And here is, you got another icon. That's a spirit, man, because I didn't even mean to do that. Now, I don't know if they're French, because there's a lot, you got the cross up there. So I'd have to go and do history, because there's a lot of places that use that. You got, and especially in the medieval times, because it's a symbol. Because Jake, even though Jake were going off, they were, the society was like based off the scriptures. Okay, so even though they were going into the different, the Roman Catholic Church, Protestant, whatever. But as you see, though, they're wearing robes. It's Israelites, so-called, brown people in the Middle Ages, knights. Okay. Now, what I want to do here is I want to bring a scripture out here. What was I going to bring out first? And bring out a bit of history here. So we got first Maccabees 3. And let's go to 48. It said, and laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. All right. So, the heathen not only destroy our stuff, but they actually paint over your history and your icons. That's why with us as Israelites, we show you that when you read the Bible, it's you tribes, you so-called Negroes, West Indians, Puerto Ricans, Native Americans, and scattered Israelites amongst, the other nations, like your Irish, Italians, etc. Now, we read this first Maccabees 3 and 45. Now Jerusalem lay void as a wilderness. There was none of her children that went in or out. The sanctuary also was trodden down, and aliens kept the stronghold. The heathen had their habitation in that place, and joy was taken from Jacob, and the pipe with the harp ceased. Now, in this day and age right now, um, it's the same thing going on. We're under another captivity, and we're under the rulership of the Edomites, the pagan Romans, the beast NATO EU system. All right. Now what I want to do, so I got a lot of these. See, some of these are like French, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Man. So what I want to do here now, you see, now knights. When you think about these knights, and the reason why they were called knights is because they were dark skin. That's what it means. A knight. People say, nah, yeah, it doesn't mean that. Now, these knights or these warriors, right? Um, it was Jake, and that's why I was gonna read Revelations 20. I was gonna read it first. I'll read it after. But you had something called 100 Years' War, and it's a series of conflicts and wars between England and France between 1337 and 1453. So you had these Jakes fighting each other for 100 years, man, more than 100 years, and it just shows you, um, I mean, that they're fucking Jakes, because that's what Jakes is doing. You know, that's what Jake are known for doing this. And I was gonna get a whole bunch of scriptures on Jake, being like that, but I thought let me steer it in a different direction. It says was a series of armed conflicts between the Kingdom of England and France during the late medieval ages. It originated from disputed claims to the French throne between the English royal house of the Plantagenet and the French royal. It's come off. And the French royal house of Valois, if I'm saying it right. Over time, the war grew into a broader power struggle, including factions from across Western Europe, fueled by emerging nationalism on both sides. So there's just a bunch of Jakes fighting, man. All right. Different houses. It was a dispute, okay, and then it turned into what Jake's called beef, man. Now what I want to do. Now this icon here shows you, and these icons prove, and there's many more of these, that the men that were fighting in these were Israelites. But whether you want to agree with that or not, whether you want to come out and show the half-ass paintings that are around, because even like I said, even if you go to the house, I think it's the House of, you got the House of Parliament. It's one of them, and I remember which one it is because I mentioned both of them in the video. But where they usually have the ceremony, so it's one of the other houses. They got an icon of King Richard, I think the second or the third, and he's clearly got an afro. So this is the hidden history that you're not gonna be taught, man. At least be by the prophets, because ain't nobody else teaching you this. Okay, let me get Job 9:24. It says, "The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?" So if he's, the wicked, and we all know the wicked are the seed of the wicked, the borders of wicked, which are the Edomites. It's mainly, especially their elites. It says he covereth the faces of the judges thereof. So they was actually going around in the Renaissance period. Let's go here. Let's see if we can Type in Renaissance. Rena. I'm not gonna spell this right, but I'm gonna try. Off of, you know what I'm saying? See what it says. Renaissance cultural movement that spanned the period roughly from the 14th to the 17th century. Let's see what else it says. It is a period in European history marking the transition from the Middle Ages to modernity. So, um, and it means rebirth. So, the Middle Ages was ruled by Jake's Israelites, and because the pagan Roman Empire had fell, got took, Jake started ruling that into the Holy Roman Empire. That's what they called it because they were Israelites. They're gonna call themselves things like that. And the Renaissance was of when Jake was taken out of those power seats, and then now modernity is what you call now. You the UK, the British Empire, the American Empire, and NATO, the Beast. Business suits. Basically Roman law. When they set up NATO, the EU, they called it what, the Club of Rome. When they set up NATO, there was a meeting and set up the Club of Rome, and that's exactly the society that we're in. It says, and covering the 15th, 16th centuries, categorized by an effort to revive and surpass ideas and achievements of classical antiquity. It occurred after the crisis of the late Middle Ages and was associated with great social change. Right, and the changes happen, you know, by ways of destruction as well. And we're talking about destroying, you know, you know, when you watch the Borgias, man. And I remember there was two of the movies, two of them. I think there was the English one, and there was the series and an American series, if I'm not mistaken. But I remember there being two, and we was watching it. But they were, you check out how Edomites were taking Jake out as power seats all throughout Europe. You had the Ottoman Turks getting in there in Turkey. You had people taking down the Moors. You had the Borgias going running around. So there was a lot going on. Check what it says. By the picture underneath the picture, it says Florence, the birthplace of the European Renaissance. The architectural perspective and modern systems and fields of banking and accounting were introduced during the Renaissance. Now you got a term. Now you got a term called iconoclasm. Was there something there? I'll read this part. The Renaissance was a cultural movement that profoundly affected European intellectual life in the early modern period, beginning in Italy and spread into the rest of Europe by the 16th century. Its influence was felt in art, architecture, philosophy, literature, music, science, and technology. Now, it said art, right? Let me click on images when it comes to some of this Renaissance artwork. Because what you're going to start seeing is naked, usually, well, look, they're showing you icons here. But, what you're seeing is they're going to start getting lighter, know, because that's what they were doing in the Renaissance. They were actually painting over images of Israelites. Okay, because you see, I don't know who this woman is, right? But having their hair thick like that. That was Afro woolly hair. So just like they got the icon of Charlotte Sophia, they'll get it and then they'll paint it lighter, so you don't know that it was an Israelite. And then you had, and I know I'm doing a lot of talking here, but then you had Israelites. You see what I'm saying? Because really they were reviving that Roman Empire, man. So you start getting these, naked, whatever. And on top of them, painting over images, you start getting these naked statues and stuff. Um, what was I saying? But you had Charlotte Sophia, and she was a Jake, man. And you had Jakes that will get with Edomite looking women, and then the children, will come out. So they'll be light, So you got people on the British throne, like that lines go back to Edomites, and then you got certain people like this Prince Harry. We believe that guy's is Jake. You don't act like the rest of them. He's got a different spirit. And he actually has even denounced the royal family, if you want to go into it. Revelation 21, and I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he lay hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. Right? So um this is, when you read the scriptures, you gotta understand that it's talking about kingdoms, events, you know, and this is what John saw, but what this represented was um the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan. That's talking about the Edomite system, them and their system. You got bound up, you know, and it's gonna explain why, and cast him into the bottomless pit, which is Europe. It's known for its it's not fertile, basically, like that, and shut him up and set up a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more. So now the so-called Christians are gonna make you think, oh, that's talking about the devil himself. No, 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 it's not, man. Because there's many ways you can go around proving that. But us, the elected, if you want to believe that, you can believe that. I'm just gonna leave it there right now, because um, this truth is only for the elect. Okay, but what I want to ask you, how is it a dragon then? How is it the dragon? Is the old serpent, which is the devil and Satan? You know, when you check out Esau, the Rome, the system is known as a dragon. So, and he's even got something called draconian legislation. Um, you know, says, and cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more till 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little season. So he was out of power for these 1,000 years, and he was basically so he wasn't able to push forth his philosophies and to do what the scripture says in Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges. So the wicked are doing the same thing that the dragon, the old serpent, the devil and Satan would do. Deceiving, covering things over. That's the same. That's the same traits. Okay. So it's not the Most High didn't put Satan, this actual devil, in a pit and just lock him up. That don't make no sense, man. Now, when you read these scriptures, you gotta understand, man. Like, even when you read the Isaiah 14, and it's talking about what was it, Lucifer. It's talking about. It was talking about Babylon, man. If I'm not mistaken, it wasn't. But I know damn sure it wasn't talking about the spiritual demon, Satan. Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand. Yep, and then it starts. So we know that these kingdoms. When you see these words, the devil, the word devil means deceiver. Satan means adversary, man. So you gotta understand, which is a whole nother lesson. We can go into it. And we got loads of precepts for that. You gotta understand how the scriptures work, man. Like, for example, it says he lay hold on the dragon, right? And you got a dragon, an old serpent, or the devil with horns. Which one is it? This is how we know it's not talking about the spiritual demon Satan. Because it's just giving you four. It's just giving you four different. This is for you Christians. It's giving you four different. Representations. It's giving you an actual fire-breathing dragon. It's giving you a snake, on its belly from the God. And I'm just toying with these Christians right now. It says which is the devil. So now you got the man with the horns, and then you got Satan, or what was that? The man in a business suit. you know. So we know what he's talking about, and we know what that period of time was talking about, because remember, you got to remember, John was on the island of Patmos when he was getting this, and he was seeing into the future, bro. Okay. Now there's something else I wanted to do. See, use Renaissance art. A lot of it is just covering over, and things started to change. But we were covering over of Jake, and basically bringing in, and I'm not gonna go all into that. That's why it says that when he was loose through that season, you had different individuals that were pioneering in bringing in, like the scripture talks about the poison of the serpent, bringing in those philosophies, these new age philosophies that we got today. You had people bringing them in, man. Edomites over time. So I'm gonna leave it there. I could have went deeper into this. I might do another video on this, man, going deeper into what I'm saying. I wanted to just really focus on the icons and the fact that if you look at this, you can clearly see it's Jake fighting Jake. When you watch those, when you think about the knights and the medieval and the jousting, it was Jake's. We got the proof. The Renaissance period is when they came in. Matter of fact, let me get that word iconoclasm. Iconoclasm is a social belief in the importance of the destruction of icons and other images or monuments, most frequently for religious or political reasons. Okay. So you see here, you got actually dark icons of the Middle Ages right here on the page that they're telling you, right? And so it says triumph of orthodoxy over iconoclasm under the Byzantine Empress Theodora and her son, right? When you go, yeah. And then this one is a complete. In this Elizabethan work of propaganda, the top right of the picture depicts men busy pulling down and smashing icons while power is shifting from the dying Henry VIII at left. Now, to go deeper into this, because they're gonna, see, this is what Esau does. To go deeper, to go into what really happened. Okay, we're talking about in the Middle Ages, and you know what I have to do. We have to really show, because Esau tries to hide everything. So we got to put it all together. But what they was actually doing is going over these dark icons and destroying them. Let's see if it goes into the Renaissance and yeah. Okay, it's not touching on it. You got the Reformation era. Iconoclasm in Christian history. See, it's not really touching on the Renaissance, and I'm not surprised. Why aren't they touching on the Renaissance? Why? Because this is what you see. This is what we're saying, and you know what? This has just proved the lesson. Esau, never trust thine enemy, man. Because as iron rusteth, so is his wicked. Let me get that. I'm gonna close out on that because that's just proven. That's just proven that you can't trust them. They've gone into iconoclasm, but there's nothing in there on the Renaissance, like as if there was changes in art and all that, but not. But we're just gonna skip that. All right. Ecclesiastes 12:10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Okay. Lord will, I'm gonna come and do another video on this. This is just another introduction back into the icons, man. I was just seeing where it was going. Just wanted to kind of just, you know, but more to come. More, icon videos and prophecies as well, because this ties in with prophecy. You know, because there's still, and I'll do this in the next video. They're still hiding it today. The scripture says that um your dead body shall lie in the streets, and basically ain't nobody gonna revive you. So there's history that these elites and icons and all that they're hiding from the children of Israel. Even now. So it's history and prophecy. So with that, I'm gonna say shalom.